Hey, nice to meet you. My name is Cheryl Overby, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a video so you could kind of hear me talk and maybe have a better feel for the way I do treatment so that you know whether or not you'd like to pick me as your therapist. I'm a big fan of going therapist shopping, and so doing a little bit of research and kind of picking the right person you think will be helpful to you is a great idea. I've been a therapist for over 30 years, primarily working with sexual abuse. I see kids who've been abused, adults who've been abused in childhood, and I also work with children and teens who have had sexual behaviors or inappropriate behaviors sexually with other kids or in other ways. So that's primarily my specialty. You may have found me through my website, CherylOverby.com, or perhaps my Cheryl Overby Counseling Facebook page. Either way, I'm glad that you're here. One of the things that I do to help clients give me feedback while we're doing treatment is to have a number system. So we rate the difficulty of the subjects we're talking about on a 1 to 10 scale. So when we're doing therapy, we want to stay in the range between 6 and 7. If we get to issues that are 9 or 10, that's way too overwhelming and really not the best thing to do in outpatient therapy. But if we're also too low and the things we're talking about are only, a 2 or a 3 on the scale, then those are pretty benign issues that you can talk about with pretty much anyone, and that may be not the best in therapy either, because we could be working harder than that, frankly. So it's kind of that sweet spot to make sure that we're going fast enough so you're making progress, but not too fast that you're getting overwhelmed. I really think it's important that you know your communication style and that I know your communication style. Some people don't like to talk, and so they're kind of worried about coming to therapy and needing to talk. But that's not always the case. I can type with clients, like I have 2 keyboards, and then we type information back and forth, or we write information back and forth, or with younger kids, I play a lot of games. I have questions on them. One of my favorite games is called the cotton ball game, and we throw wet cotton balls at the wall, and then they land on prompts for questions or information, and so it kind of makes it fun to share information and discuss the topics in the midst of a game. Doesn't feel like therapy, and so that's a great technique that I like to use with kids. I think it's really critical to include family members in therapy, especially with children. Sometimes progress will be made just based on who you have in the room and who you're able to get feedback on. Everybody has a little piece of the puzzle if you're living in a family. So even if there's siblings who have not been sexually abused, it may be important for them just to meet me and tell me what they think about the situation. So I'm the expert on the sexual abuse issues and how to solve those. You don't need to know how to solve them. I know how to solve them. Or I know lots of options of ways to solve them, and then you tell me which one works for you. If you suffer in silence and don't like the way things are going, that's not helpful for either of us. So I really want it to be a team effort where you're giving me feedback on what's working for you, what's not working, how often you want to come in. So thank you for listening, and maybe I'll meet you soon. Thanks.